Alright, so those chat bans. Here, I need to figure out a better solution for that. But
Well, Lulu Kha'Zix are your classic Dominion chat bans, so
yeah, I think it's worth covering a little bit why Lulu exactly is banned out so much. That actually goes back to Z-Mike, or Mad Supportal, who is on the purple team. That's very much a target ban to him. He picked up Lulu and pretty much single-handedly made her tier 0 because of the sheer amount of CC that she has and ability to basically sprout another health bar.
yeah. Well, Lulu's also been picked lately in LCS as an AP mid.
Yeah,
So
she's been popping up a little bit on SR, and they kind of whack-a-mole her back down as soon as they show up. But it's not something that seriously affected her performance in Dominion. She just brings so many bases and so much general scaling to the table, especially after that mini rework.
She has a shield and a temporary HP boost, which are not affected by Ignite.
Yeah, that's the thing with her, is one of the biggest benefits is her bonus health that she provides is not at all affected by healing reductions. So she can choose a target, give them about 1,000 health, and they can't respond to it.
Watch this much, and a kill.
So Kha'Zix, Zyra, you saw a lot of the effect that she had in the last game, as well as Syndra, so really interesting. Glad to see those bans being picked out. Smart picks on both sides for those bans. Now moving on to the actual bans. I think we've covered pretty much every one of these bans, or seen the champions in play, except Janna here, so if you might elaborate a bit on why you'd see this Janna ban.
Well, Janna prevent dive com, but it's maybe a target ban to match support. Or, I mean, she provides some good damage, utility with a shield and everything.
Yeah, that's one of Mad Supportal's other main champions, and she just has so much CC, it's almost impossible to chase her. So in addition to backcapping really well, she can change fights in ways a little similar to Zyra, minus some of the damage. So that covers the bans. Looking under the blue team, they first pick Brand, actually. Really interesting to see that. Very glad to not just see the usual Karma picks and champions like that. Brand's an old DD champion that you've seen a lot more, even though he's not popular in SR. Yeah, he brings his passive that allows you to burn off 8% of the target's health, any target that you hit with your spells, over 4 seconds. Gives him really relevant damage on top of having good bases and scaling. The fact that he doesn't have any gap closer or mobility is almost made irrelevant by his high uptime stun, and he's just a really big threat that will cut you and poke you out and dump a lot of AoE damage if a large skirmish pops up.
Oh yeah, they're trying also to pull out again their famous break-oven combo.
Yep.
Jarvan and Brand.
Yep, they picked Jarvan with that Brand. Jarvan gets everybody in a nice tight ball, which gives Brand basically a free combo and lets him use his optimal damage combo and basically melt everybody in the titular brick oven. So, looking at that, we also see a Maokai pick as well. He's got a lot of utility, a lot of defense, and his heal comes up so often on Dominion that honestly he's just a really great tank to have around, and he'll peel
his,
for
ultimate
damage.
is a flat 20% damage reduction with a nice counter to AoE.
Yeah, it really helps shut down the AoE comps because it'll really suck off some of the power, and then you can just plop that on a Jarvan ult, try and mitigate some of that brick oven. And then he also brings map control, not as strong as, say, Nidalee, but saplings do provide great bush scouting and help see where the enemy team's going.
And surprise kill. Always someone try to run out in jungle with like 1 bar of HP and walk to a sapling.
Yep. Vi has been covered previously. Top tier sustained and burst damage bruiser with a lot of mobility.
Pretty much
Really
the same thing as
understandable.
Jarvan.
Yep.
Pretty much same playstyle and everything.
Amumu picked up on blue side, probably to go with that Jarvan Brand ult combo, lock them into that, and not just have them sitting in the ult. he's not a tank you see as much anymore, but he's still pretty relevant and just really nice to see another pick like that.
You can be going IV+Amumu because Amumu has like pretty high ratio on his ultimate and his Q.
Yeah, he used to have 1.0 ratios everywhere. He was chipped away a lot in patches a while ago. He used to be considered really strong as well before that happened, but now he's just considered middle of the pack. Still a good pickup though, nice solid. We also see a Mundo pickup and a Ziggs pickup. So I know Snide Sentinels.
A Ziggs versus Gragas bottom. That's Soul Summoner Riff.
Yep. Snide Sentinel is going to be going bot lane with that Ziggs, and Ziggs really brings so much pushing and so much poking that he's a really safe pick bot lane. You can pick him and just stay back near your point, clear waves, and stall a ton while you wait for your team to come help.
It's also annoying to die because he has to run through his minefield. He can jump away with satchel.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is something that's really strong on SR is his satchel, which will pretty much instantly disengage a gank when used. It's still really good on here, despite its long cooldown. You just need to be focused on using it properly.
And he can interrupt, and join fight pretty quickly with his ultimate at middle.
It looks like Mundo was picked up as well. Interesting pick. It's not a champion I value as much personally. I've heard he's been getting a lot more play recently though. Be interesting to see whether they go for like a pure pen build to maximize that high % damage on his cleaver, or a more conventional tank.
Zan play a full tank Mundo. He goes on fire and spirit visage and more tank than him.
Be interesting to see how much impact that has. It's still a lot of damage. Cleaver is just one of the most obnoxious bases in the game I've seen to date, even through Cass or some of the other high base champions. Yeah. Alright, so gonna reveal summoners here.
You're missing T-Jayce and T-Gragas pick.
Yep, well, we'll be covering those in just a second, as well as the Annie one. Just did want to reveal the summoners here. Something of interest is the Clairvoyance pick. Something that you don't see a lot. Only a few. I've only seen a few summoners tend to use it, but it's basically a global range sweeper. If you've been around since the days when that was a really strong item, it costs you a summoner slot, but it was only generally going to be ignite or exhaust anyway, so it's not like you're losing a huge
without getting your face in there. I mean, Brand's not gonna survive if she get bushwhacked by a Vi.
Yeah, it gives him that reveal if he wants to go check some bushes. It lets them keep track of gankers. Really strong utility pick, just not something you see a lot of summoners in solo queue be experienced with.
And you can check for gang at bottom lane. I mean, just reveal the bottom lane, speed shrine if you see someone come there.
So we see Mr. Chunks pick up that Jayce. Jayce is actually something that another champion you see built differently on Dominion than SR.
He does not build tier or mana mune on Dominion because he does not run out of mana.
Yeah, you don't see him mana immune on Dominion because of the aura gives him a lot of mana regen. You don't see a Trinity Force because honestly it's not that great scaling on him compared to his other options.
Nobody built Trinity Force on Summoner Rift anymore on Jayce. You build Infinity Age on Dominion because of his W give him 100% extra damage, and if it crit like 230 damage in 3 hit in like a second.
Yes, I'll try not to bore the stream with the math, but the crit damage from your regular crits, from IE crits, will stack with the damage on Hypercharge. So you get about a 330% damage, if my memory serves, off of a crit. That's 3 of those in a row will obliterate anything. It will 3-shot a squishy, it will take half the health off a bruiser or tank. It's not something you can really work around.
And the famous game there, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's not so. It takes ever since some nerfs that reduced his utility, reduced the times he can use his acceleration gates, so he doesn't get as many charged Qs. That pulled off his early game power a bit, pulled off his mid game power, but he's still a really, really strong late game 80 carry pick with a lot of utility in disengage.
Yeah, and Gragas, if you've been watching LCS, you see Gragas versus Ziggs quite often middle lane. It's a safe pick, bottom lane, good wave clear, can work well with ganks, and you can again, and with if someone come gang, team come gang, you can just push the other guys into a target, into the right person and kill him, or you can use it as a disengage.
The thing with Gragas is, in SR at least, he has what amounts to one button wave clear, so he can throw his barrel out, he can let it sit, and just clear off minions without ever putting himself anywhere near danger. In Dominion, he can't really do that because of the health on his health on that big siege cannon type minion. But he still clears out those caster minions instantly. He's still got so much burst just off of his Q and his ult. And he's really just kind of one of those overloaded champions Riot has never fixed.
Yeah. Well, on Summon Rift, his Q does not one-shot the melee minions until we have like 600-700 AP or something.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's not going to one-shot them, it'll bring them low enough so that he can just use Body Slam when they get close to the tower.
Yeah.
I suppose I should be a little more accurate there.
Have you seen the screenshot I sent you with the 700 AP Lulu?
I haven't yet. Was waiting till
do a quick check.
game got in. I'll have to start the client, but open the client back out so I can check messages. So game has started. It does look like Gragas is going bot, and so just to cover that Annie pick really quick. She's a short-ranged mage. Got a lot of damage though, and what she excelled at is scaling into that late game. Her cooldowns are very low as a base, and the fact that she can AoE stun people to initiate a fight, and then bring poke and zoning with her bear, continue and apply sustained DPS with repeated Q casts, makes her just so strong as you scale in that late game. Get bear up on what amounts to a 100% uptime. Right, looks like they're going to be doing a double cap strat once more. Interesting to see benchwarmers picking this up. I'm gonna have to ask them about that post DD, see why they're doing it.
You get faster, you get more gold.
So looks like something that that wasn't benchwarmers. Both teams are doing it, I should say.
Yeah.
Looks like there's some quick engage onto Jarvan, but Vi gets caught out in 2 or 3 here.
And Branch die.
It just gets focused down. Mr. Chunks tries to finish off Mundo real quick, but is not able to. Has to flash back and now has movement on him.
He's dead.
A fight between Brand, Annie, Brand, Annie, Jarvan and Mao. Jarvan and Annie go down real quick. Looks like you've got 2. The Love Peacekeep was able to show right back up and is applying damage. Jumps onto Wei, even though movement is up, trying to zone him out of the fight. And is now chasing movement a bit. Looks like there's a quick lull, and they engage back onto Zounds. Finish him off. And Annie's chasing down Brand. Fire Mage versus Fire Mage. Looks like she's able to finish that kill up. And while we were talking, also looks like one of their blue team went down, did not see her. So Jarvan locked up in 3, just doing whatever he can to stall that out. Get Mundo here, stop the cap.
Mundo's delaying because his teammate just revived and rushed back top.
They get a good pick onto Afra here, finish him off with Mundo and Brand's damage.
Oh my god, Amumu just got 6.
Mumu got a clutch ult there, locks down Maokai, locks down Vi, team cleans him up, and looks like they're going to be able to secure this bot. Alright, looks like they're going for the relic, and Amumu's going to try and take his as well. Nope, just goes up and headbox Jayce, who responds by hard engaging. Hope he does not stay too long, because if he does, he is going to get picked off by 3, and the stun does not land, or he probably would die there.
Ouch. Pyroclast on 2 as a dead target.
Yep, big fight going on, straight into bot lane. Gragas comes up, throws in some additional damage, backs back off surprisingly. Vi goes down to Jarvan ults, and Jarvan's in there. They focus down Annie as well, leaving Mad Supportal to try and contend with all of that damage. Not able to.
This was interesting because Coravel went up to a joint fight. Ziggs just throws his ult and went to control the point instead.
Looks like Ziggs used Satchel Charge there just to force Corval to go back behind point and then just repositioned himself while he was there.
Yeah.
3 members of Cunning Stunts is able to recap this, and then it looks like it's going to turn into a fight for Cunning Stunts mid lane.
Yep.
Mid tower. There are no lanes except bot lane.
Got the blue team setting up the jungle. Mundo get caught through makeup.
Zounds pops his ult early there, wants that regen before getting jumped on by 3. Is able to get out. Jarvan and Brand and Amumu are coming back to try and follow this up. Annie gets low, does not get killed right away. Does drop shortly after, though, on a re-engage. But that's all they were really able to pick up. Cunning Stunts was able to respond and kill 2 members and then finish off Amumu. Vi going to just zone people out, make sure there aren't any stragglers, heading bot to help with bot cap.
Yeah, Gragas just killed Zig. Oh, and by the way, because the minion was pushing top, so Bran has to leave and clear the minions at the same time.
Yeah, that was
Purple team force and engage on Mundo, so
yeah, that's
force him
something.
to come down.
If Vi had stayed and really engaged this, she could have drawn more to come bot lane. But it looks like they're just backing off of this, not going to go to try and force anything bot. Vi doesn't have her ult, so she didn't want to go for that.
Q also attack
She
and
does, or did it just come
just took down 1/3 of Brand HP.
Yeah, Brand was full, Corval wasn't. He would probably just get dropped instantly, not worth going on. Alright, and looks like Vi goes straight in on Amumu. Amumu catches a quick ride over to Amumu Brand ult combo, instantly dropping 2 people and leaving Vi stranded in 3. She goes down really quickly to a Pillar of Flame, and Jayce is now being run off by Mundo. Interesting to see this fight go down. Mundo basically ignoring Jayce's damage because of that regen.
Yeah, he just zoned Jayce out.
Alright. Well, looks like it's pretty much settled down top lane. Let's head bot. Alright.
2 mage and can just wave clear.
Gragas belly bumping a few minions here, trying clearing them out. Ziggs staying back and poking. Really good at that. I don't see this minion wave getting very far. Yep, clears right out, and Ziggs able to keep that healthy distance. Here's Vi. Looks like she was going to gank bot, but there's a fight brewing in mid, so interesting to see where this one goes. Jayce caught out of position by Mundo and Jarvan. Looks like they're going to try and follow up on this pick instead of anything else in the mid area. Poke going down both ways. Ziggs contributes his ults, and looks like this is actually a 5-on-5, not something you see often. Annie and Brand, so no fire going to be in this fight. Looks like Mundo drops and then Vi, but Benchwarmers had a lot more health on 2 of their main champions.
Oh, Zig got sniped by Jarvan.
Kills continuing to go back and forth. Ziggs and Maokai dropped. Gragas suffocating Amumu under his belly fat. While the minions, purple minions, are neutralizing this point, Gragas chasing down Jarvan, who turns around and just face dunks Jayce.
Yep,
Not enough to save the point, though, as Corval finishes him off. Right, looks like Corval's going to have to do some fancy footwork here, try and save the point with Annie. Oh, getting chased down. Pyroclasm goes down. Stun misses, interestingly. Annie uses that as license to go straight back in. Looks like Annie was the superior fire mage in that engage. Combos Brand straight down off of the poke that Corval provided, and Corval's heading bot. That's sort of a bit of a weakness. Looks like the Benchwarmers team was really able to send their bot laner, get him back into that bot lane quickly, forcing them to react with 3. And as a result, you're seeing a fight that would probably have gone Cunning Stunts' way if they hadn't had to send Jayce bot lane.
Got minion controlling top.
And that's that power of that Jarvan, really big shred, has a lot of damage to back it up, so was just able to beat that Mao into the ground with those autos and with those bases. Gonna recap top, and with that, looks like everybody's just repositioning.
Vi's coming down trying to gank Zig, but he just went away.
Yeah, Vi's doing a lot of posturing bot lane, trying to get a good opening on Ziggs. Hasn't been able to find one yet. Looks like they're 4-man going for pick off, and stun lands and combo kills Annie in short order, and then they're able to finish up Jayce right after. This is most definitely going to be a mid cap for bench warmers here. Alright, so some skirmishing in the bottom. Vi trying desperately to zone out Ziggs so that Corville can cap the point.
Oh my gosh.
Not
Ziggs
quite
just
able
stopped
to.
a Vault Breaker with his successful charge. And he defended his point, just buy enough time for Jarvan to get down there. Meanwhile, Brand just back cap the bottom like point.
Corville trying desperately to stop Brand and Jarvan from getting a solid grasp on that point.
Hey,
and leaving Jayce to 1v2, not quite finish off way there.
Hey, 5 cap.
Yep. Looks like it's going to be 5 cap in Benchwarmer's favor here. Alright, and since I probably don't do this enough, this is RCIX. I'm casting with ZallKlos. Alright, and looks like Mao's going to engage, looking for some Vi follow-up here. And Jayce shows up as well. Mumu ults to break up the fight, try and buy himself some time, it does not work, and they're able to take Mundo out as well. Still don't have any points. This is a really dangerous situation for Cunning Stunts to be in. Alright, looks like they're able to finish off Brand here with some help of Jarvan. He has to... Corville has to blow his revive as a result.
Still 4 cap for bench warmer.
He's looking for that pick-off on the no-health Brand. He just tricky enough, not able to quite get him.
Oh my god, he just stunned again, Gragas again.
Yep.
And got away, Brand got away.
Yep. Looks like a fight going on. 1v2 possibly. Jarvan trying to keep defending his points. Has a Jayce on him, has that Gragas on him. Not gonna live for long. Right. Meanwhile, they were somehow able to cap top in all of this. Desperately defending it. Maokai not surviving much longer. Annie's pretty much their only hope to save that 3 cap, stay on at least 2 points in a neutral. Lots of pressure about to go down bot. Random Barrel takes out Brand and leaves Ziggs and Jarvan to continue this assault. See where it goes.
Fight at top. Maokai just rejoined Annie, but she's dead. She's dead.
Mundo and Amumu just glomming onto Annie, finishing her off before Maokai is able to protect her. And now it's a brawl of bruisers, and at least before Brand showed up.
Yeah, well, he's not gonna fire kill plans.
Jayce did end up going down in that bot fight. They're able to hold bot lane, but not much else.
Oh my god, Zig with Landry, that's gonna be so annoying to deal with.
A lot of poke going to go down from that Ziggs. Leandry's burn, not as highly valued as it is on SR, but it's still a lot for a poke champion like Ziggs.
Well, Corville has no MR.
Yeah, especially when you have no MR target, just building up a lot of ages.
4 magic pen, and Corville has 49 magic pen, so he's doing true damage Corville.
Amazing burst from Brand there. Gets Trunks low enough, not able to follow up and kill Amumu, even though he had the advantage when he started that fight. Sapling finishes off Amumu though. Mao comes in, uses his ult, uses that twisted advance, able to take out Brand as well, leaving them on just 1 point, as this game is looking to close out soon. Never know though. Never know. Could go to that last few points. Alright. Twisted advance, leaping across the map just to get that one Ziggs. And Jayce being counterblown up.
Zig just live.
Yep, looks like a quick... Ziggs was turned into a bear there, I guess.
Yeah, but he delays so much. He managed to take down two players.
Annie goes down to the tantrum Amumu was throwing, then gets taken out shortly thereafter by a barrel. With that, despite a valiant fight by Cunning Stunts, they do go down to benchwarmers.
Yep. So what I learned, casting Dominion is hard because there's so many fight action happen very often, and sometimes you have like 2 fight at 2 different spots on the map.
Now, there was a lot of action. I really think that the thing that got benchwarmers that win there is they had superior map pressure and was able to really keep Cunning Stunts off their feet, off their balance, not able to react in group meaningfully, and just they never recovered from losing that initial windmill fight.
Snice's Snout is a beast at battling.
Looking over damage, Brand, unsurprisingly, is by far the top of the damage charts. Just puts out so much AoE damage that it's one of the several champions that's difficult to compete with. Damage taken. Amumu, surprisingly, is the winner of this, with Mundo in a close second. Not even quite, at least a close second for blue team. And finally, the graveyard champion of this match was Annie, spending 246 seconds dead, with the nearest being 181 from Jayce. Yeah, that was a really squishy comp from purple team. That was honestly one of the biggest downfalls, because if you look at the top team, you have Jarvan, he has a lot of innate tankiness. You have Amumu, who he also has a lot of innate tankiness, and you have Mundo, who regenerates another health bar on his own if you don't 4-man focus him. So, in contrast, they really just had Maokai and a little bit of Vi top for tankiness on the purple team, so that really set them back, gave them a little too many opportunities on the blue team to dive for the high priority targets that were supposed to be DPSing.